Welcome into the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. Woohoo! I'm very, very excited. Yeah, I know we did a Christmas show like not too long ago, but I'm super excited now because of this is the holiday that's coming up. I'm Ron. That dude over there is John Yaglensky, my partner in crime, the VP, the tech savvy. I don't know. What is it? What is it, John? Partner. Let's just say partner. Let's just say
whatever.
Yeah.
Your bud.
All of the things.
Your friend.
I get the compliments, by the way, John, all the time
on
your participation in this.
What?
Oh, you guys work pretty well together. Although, ironically, John and I never worked together on the air.
No, ironically.
Hey, come on.
Hello.
We worked at the same radio station, but we were at different shifts.
We would occasionally talk a little bit.
Did we cross chatter?
Yeah, we did.
When you were middays, right? Was I an afternoon drive?
Yeah.
You got middays and I was afternoons?
That was kind of what it was.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Or we talked a little bit when I was doing overnights when I first got there. Remember?
Oh my gosh, that's right. Yeah, you went from overnights to middays. And I'm like, what happened?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. Nothing made sense at that radio station.
So, yeah.
Whatever.
So that's John. I'm Ron. Welcome into the podcast. Always, by the way, our phone number is ready, available to you at all times. 240-415-9090. Almost give you my personal private cell number. 240-415-9090. Although that was out on the internet right after I got laid off. And I got calls from fans from the Sirius XM days, just to make sure that I was okay, which I thought was very nice.
That's beautiful.
And I just wanted to know what happened, and this is before the podcast and all that stuff. But it was really respectful, just a little chat, and like, hey, is this Ron? I'm like, yeah, hi, who's this? And it was whomever, and they just called to say hey and make sure I was okay, which I thought was extremely nice.
To say they love
and
you.
Never called back and never texted me or anything. They knew it was my personal number, so they just left it alone. They called
Very
once
nice.
and said, I know, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can leave a message 240-415-9090. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscription if you haven't already. Thanks for watching us on Facebook and on X. Twitter. Twitter.
And share now.
I don't know. Yeah, and then share it.
Your socials. Let your network know that we're on.
And also you can tell your friends that you can listen to the audio version of this.
True.
On wherever you get your major podcasts. Search for.
I just uploaded some episodes this morning.
I just showed my cousin. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't get to watch it. I'm sorry, I wasn't doing an impersonation of her, but I kind of was. And she, we had lunch on Monday, and she's like, I don't get to watch it. It's on your phone right now, really? And I pulled up the iPhone. I said, look here, podcast, search, right. Boom, there it is. She's like, oh goodness, all the episodes.
And I think we're up to date now. Although, as I hinted at, I think we skipped over a episode number, so it will forever be lost to the ages. I'm not sure how that happened.
I don't really have the wherewithal to go back and find it. Do you?
No, I don't. So
okay, we're cool. So this is episode 23, and we'll just leave it at that.
Is it 23? Hold on,
I think.
Good.
Season 2, 20. Well, whatever.
Yep.
You know what?
Okay.
Good. All right. So I alluded to this last week, and I was off for medical procedure. So let me just tell you that. And then yesterday, we had to move it to today because I actually had the results. So I had a biopsy done, and there was no cancer found.
Yeah,
so I was good, and she just went through the whole report, and she just kept circling where it says benign, all the samples that were taken, benign, which was awesome. So yeah, that was I got the news yesterday morning. So we were on pins and needles for like 2 or 3 weeks, waiting for the results to come back. But that's it. That's all I want to talk about, and just get that out in the open. So everything's fine. I am good. Aside from all the other issues I have.
Well,
I didn't have this one on top of everything. So I'm good. I'm very, very good. And so I was very, very excited to get that news. So what's the first thing Greatest Wife Ever and I did? We were like, oh, let's do. She's like, you want to get breakfast? I'm like, yes, of course. I would like to get breakfast.
Thank you.
So we went, no, you know what we did?
What did you do?
So, well, we went to this, the Mountain View Diner. Remember the Mountain View Diner on 40
Yes.
on the Golden Mile?
Yes.
Used to be Bob's Big Boy and all that stuff. Anyway,
Yes.
they're great. Great little restaurant, great breakfast and so on. And on the menu was a ribeye and 2 eggs. And you know what?
Nothing better than steak and eggs.
Steak
Right.
and eggs, man. I'm
Oh,
telling you, I would have never thought in a gabillion years that I would get a tasty, cooked perfectly to order
right.
ribeye steak at the Mountain View Diner, and it was on point. Got a little A1, a little A1. Little goes a long way.
No,
Little
but
A1.
that's good for the breakfast eggs.
Yeah, put it
I
on the
agree.
side. Well, I
Yeah.
put the A1 on the eggs and
Yeah.
on the potatoes.
Oh,
It
that's nice.
was A1 it was an A1 day. But we were celebrating. So, but you know what? I was really, really impressed with and you know that I think that happened not too a couple of years ago. We were and I saw, and it was dinner time, and I saw they had a T-bone. I'm like, no.
No.
All right, let's try it. Let's go in. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens. It was pretty decent.
Okay.
It was a pretty decent little steak, you know.
Now,
They
was it
weren't
decent because
they
your
weren't-
expectations were low going in, or was it decent just because it was decent?
It was good. It was decent because it was decent. It was good flavor. It was a little thinner than you would
Right.
suspect,
But still,
but that's fine. It was perfectly filling, and I was shocked, pleasantly surprised that I got a decent steak at Denny's. It was a T-bone.
it is.
It was great.
possible.
So anyway,
Okay.
that's piggybacked off the good news from.
Glad you're healthy.
Thank you. So, a daughter the elder had her birthday last week, and so we went over to her place and had crabs. Have you had crabs yet? Now, I'm Maryland boy. I think maybe you know that, or maybe you don't know that. But born in Baltimore, basically raised though on the Eastern Seaboard in Raleigh and Richmond, so never really that far away from actually getting Maryland blue crabs and having them steamed. So our son-in-law went and bought these crabs. He drove to Annapolis because a friend of his, got the crabs, came back and then he got live crabs and then he steamed them. Yeah. They were unbelievably huge and heavy. And see, now I don't know how you pick crabs, John, but I'm a hoarder now. I didn't used to be, but now I hoard. I pick all the.
You mean the method of
yes,
pulling the meat from the crab?
Correct. Yes, I will sit there while everybody else is just picking and jawing and eating and so on and so forth. Right. I will pick all the crabs and just leave it. I'll eat the claws, but then I'll leave it a big pile. It just sits there while everybody else is like, "Oh, we're done. I can't eat anymore." I'm like, I'm just getting ready to dig in, throw a little Old Bay on top, out my fork. I don't do the butter. I did the butter once before.
I do,
and I sat there so long that the butter had coagulated. And so it was kind of gross.
You got to ask for fresh butter at that point.
Well, I didn't. I was a fool.
All right.
But in the midst of all of this, and it happened to the greatest wife ever too, is I got a cut. Because some of that, sometimes you're picking through the the crab shells that they can get sharp. You got a jagged edge or whatever. So I got a cut, and so the Old Bay found it immediately.
Of course.
So that was the rest of it. And if you don't know this, Old Bay is a spice that is used, and actually there's also a Joe is also another spice you use on crabs. Although I know that my son-in-law, he likes to use the Joe spice.
There is something that has the what is it, like almost sea salty kind of flaky salt?
Yeah.
Is that which
that's
one?
That's Joe.
Oh, so I love that one.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. And so is Old Bay. Old Bay is a little finer and finer grain. And but so that spice has got peppers in it and black pepper and cayenne pepper and some other things. And so it found that cut immediately. But then fast forward like 2 days later, greatest wife ever and I are both going, "Is your cut here?" I'm like, "No, it hasn't really. I need to put some like Neosporin or something on it because I didn't do anything. I just washed it and figured everything would be fine." No, it was inflamed and it was like, and I'm like, do I need a stitch? This is kind of deep. Should we glue it? Let's glue it shut. So it was all the trials and tribulations of having them. But I had my crabs, I had my fix for the season. Thank God the daughter, the elder, it was her birthday, and she loves to get crabs on her birthday.
Oh,
So
well,
it
okay.
was it's a thing. If you don't
I'm
know
jealous.
about this, it's
I'm
a
really
Maryland thing. You get a crab feast. I read this. There's a great group that's on Facebook. It's called Maryland is a Cult, Not a State. Because
what?
because
Okay.
we fly our flag at every possible incarnation we can do. We have it on our shorts, and we have
Right.
shirts that look
Oh,
like it.
oh,
I mean,
oh, I get what you mean. Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
the 5 different colors. It's really kind of uh, a there's a gold and black, or yellow and black, and then you've got the red and white. Was it the Cross of St. George or something like that? Red
Right.
and white, and it's in 4 quadrants. And if you're a Marylander, you know this flag. If you're outside of the state of Maryland, then you're like, what is that? So that's the Maryland flag. There you go. So you see, there are the crosses, all right, red and white. And if you go to the University of Maryland, the football team, usually they used to be like, the basketball team would just be red and white. But now they figured some of the yellow and
Yeah.
black has gotten in
Incorporate it
there, and
all. You might as well.
incorporated, yeah, the whole thing. It's just
Yeah.
it's just nuts. But anyway, Marylanders, when we sit down, and on this, Maryland is a cult, not a, hello. That's right, Jennifer Skonov, our Californian friend, is in Norway right now,
Right.
and she said that our broadcast time, I forget what time she said it was going to be, like 5 o'clock. I think she's 6 hours ahead. So it's 5, yeah. So it's 5 p.m. and she's joined us. So thank you.
Yes,
For-
she is not the first to pass this way, nor shall she be the last.
I
Sorry.
tried to call earlier, but couldn't when off the Wi-Fi. Oh, I see. It's 5:15. There you go. All right.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, she's 6 hours ahead.
Okay.
So that's awesome. She's
Yeah.
in Norway on vacation and takes time to listen to it. That's
Dedication.
dedication, and you're a true friend. Appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank
Jennifer.
you so much.
We appreciate you.
Interesting. Are you going to
Bag
be
lady.
in Norway for the 4th? It's funny because
Yeah.
the old joke is um, they don't have the 4th of July in England. I'm like, well, yeah, they do. They just don't celebrate Independence Day.
Correct.
there's
Yeah,
a
last
4th of
time I
July.
checked, pretty
There's
much
a July
everybody
4th. Yeah,
Fourth
it's
of
everywhere.
July.
You
Yeah.
can have 4th of July everywhere. It's the it's Treason Day over in
Right.
in the UK.
Infidels.
So anyway, back to it. The crabs. So I'm reading on this. Sorry, my eyes tear at the drop of a hat for no reason now, which is great because now I can watch all kinds of sad movies and TV
Yeah,
commercials.
my
And
eyes
then,
are just
and
tearing.
then when I'm tearing, and yeah, I'm like, oh, sorry, my eyes are tearing. When actually I'm crying. So the
Great.
the Maryland is called not a state said it was a person who had just moved to Maryland
Mhm.
and had been invited to a crab feast and sat down at a crab feast. And she said it was the weirdest thing because they sit down and they eat crabs.
Right.
That's
Wow.
it. There's no other activity. There's there's crabs
What's
to
so weird about
they
that?
feed you crabs,
Right. You might
and
have some
that's what you
corn,
eat. There might be
potatoes.
some other
Yeah. Onion rings.
potatoes or whatever. Now I will say this about my son-in-law, and I like
Yeah.
that he does that. The greatest wife ever. She's not a big fan, but he also makes kind of a little low country boil to go along with it. So there's corn and there's potatoes, and there was some
Don't put the
sausage.
crabs in there.
Huh?
Don't put the crabs in
No,
there.
no, no. He had steamed them separately.
Okay, because that's what they do down in the Cajun country. They boil the crabs.
Yeah, no, don't
You
boil
know,
the
steam
crabs. You
them.
have to steam the crabs. You steam them. But anyway,
Somebody's gonna fight us.
no, it's okay. Everybody's got their regionalisms of what they like to do,
Right.
and it does go. I mean, it's not just isolated to Maryland. You can get crabs on the Eastern Shore in Virginia, and I've had some great crabs in North Carolina on the Outer Banks. And
We get a good crab cake here. Apparently, supposedly, down at the May River, I don't know, it's like a fish market kind of thing, just across the bridge here. They supposedly have blue crabs.
Here being by the way, being
Hilton
Hilton Head Island, South Carolina.
Right. Okay. Apparently, if you ask them, they will do them Maryland style. They will steam them for you in the whole 9 yards. I've not tried this yet, but I'm going to try it and I will report back sometime this.
Please,
Yes,
please.
if we can get good Maryland style crabs in the Low Country.
I was at a place called the Buckystown Pub in Buckystown, Maryland, and we were there to see. Then they have crabs, and I got a crab cake.
Yes,
and then the woman was like, and it's crab cake sandwiches on the menu,
right?
And so I ordered it, and I said, but I don't want the bun, no bun, no lettuce, tomato, any of that stuff. I want 2 packets of saltine crackers.
Okay.
And she looked at me and she goes, "Are you from Baltimore?"
Baltimore.
Well, yes. I used to eat. My dad, growing up. Now I grew up, you know, as a kid. And I was born in Baltimore, but you know, we left when I was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
So I have this man. We were talking about earliest memories. I have a little bit of memories of Baltimore, this sandbox we had, and it was a metal sandbox. And I remember sitting on the side of it in the sunshine, so scorched my leg. I remember that specifically.
Sure.
But that was on Arbutus Avenue in Baltimore. But then, you know, we moved to Raleigh and Richmond. But when we would go back and visit my babusha, my Polish grandmother off of Edmondson Avenue in downtown Baltimore, we went by this seafood place called Tangiers.
Okay.
And Tangiers sold live crabs, steamed crabs, shrimp, and there's some other seafood in there. There was no place to eat inside. Okay, it was you bought it and then you left. That was it. Everything was carry out.
Yeah.
But that's where you got the crab cakes. My dad would get crab cakes, and it was it was the saltine crackers on top and bottom, and a dill pickle chip. Was it dill? Might have been bread and butter pickle chip on top, and that's it. Wrapped in wax paper. End of story. That was your crab cake. Period. There was nothing else. There was no.
You're not dipping. You're actually eating it like that.
Like you ate it like that. That was your bread for your sandwich. That's how you held the crab cake. Instead of just holding a crab cake in your hand and eating it, you had the saltine cracker.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to go to
go to
Hudson's here on the island, who, by the way, has a Maryland chef. Authentic Maryland crab cakes.
Right.
No filler, all lump meat, no crab. And I'm going to do that.
Yeah, and you don't put mayonnaise or remoulade sauce. There's no peppers in it. If there's anything red in it, that's not.
My gosh, my wife had a fit yesterday. We were out, and my dad ordered a crab cake.
That's right. She's a Maryland girl. That's right.
Yeah,
okay.
The waitress ended up having like peppers in it.
Yeah,
and my wife made a point to tell the waitress that's not a Maryland crab cake.
and this is the Maryland is a cult, not a state. It's right up there. We are very, very vehement, very, very vocal about our crab cakes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Now, there's my brother right there. He just posted a comment.
What's a crab fluff?
The crab fluff. Okay, that also was at Tangiers. Okay, but it wasn't there. They opened a sit-down restaurant in Eldersburg, Maryland, which is on 26 on the way from like Frederick into Baltimore. 26 is Liberty Road. And my other grandparents lived off of Liberty Road. Anyway, you go in there. It was a bread and butter pickle. Thank you, Greg. It was a sweet pickle. That was
all right. What's a crab fluff?
Crab fluff. Okay, so it was a crab cake batter.
Okay.
It was crab cake. And then it was in I want to say it was like a pancake fluff batter.
Okay.
All right. And it was the size of and then deep fried. Size of like a softball.
Oh.
Holy moly! I haven't had it since. Although I think I'm gonna draft my son-in-law to do it because he's got deep fryers and he loves doing all this stuff. He makes fried fish that is very close to Long John Silver's. I do not have to go to Long John Silver's anymore. The fish that he fries.
Pleasure.
Oh, gosh, it's so good. But the crab fluff, Greg is bringing up the crab fluff. And my mouth is literally watering.
Now I want
thinking about the crab fluff. It's so, and on that you put absolutely nothing. You might dust it with a little Old Bay, but not too much. A little goes a long way. But that's it. It was just
wow.
My dad used to love getting those. I would love getting those the crab fluffs. That reminds me, I'm gonna have to try that. And speaking of crabs and my dad, and it's the 3rd of July. It's my mother's birthday. So yay, it's happy birthday to mom,
Happy
who
birthday.
is 80. Oh, why am I doing math? 85 today.
All right. Happy
85.
birthday, Mom.
My little firecracker. Her name is Rose.
Mhm.
And although growing up, she was called Shuggy, which was short for sugar, but actually it's not short for anything because it's 2 syllables, just like sugar. Shuggy. She was
Right.
called Shuggy and Shug. My dad calls her Shug. That's her name.
Yeah.
My cousins call her Aunt Shug. It was Aunt Shug.
Hmm.
Shuggy. That's the so when anybody calls her Rose, I'm like, oh well, then you know her from someplace else,
Yeah.
not from family. But it's her birthday today, so yay! I'm gonna go visit her when we're done with this with the podcast. Go
Very
knock out
nice.
and say hi to my mom real quick, and then off to work. Okay, so
Oh yeah, it's still it's work. I'm off this week,
you're
so
off this week. I know you're on
every vacation,
vacaciones. Good for you,
the
but it's
week.
a staycation. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to get to that. It's on the
Oh, I
agenda. I
see.
don't know if you saw that. John's parents
Numero
in town.
5. Yeah.
So, well, you want to talk about it now? Let's talk about it
I
now.
mean, just after traveling for 6 straight weeks, it's nice to be at home and then
Yeah, and on
not,
vacation.
not
Actually,
vaca- yeah. Well, I
right
just was like, I need a week for me,
here. Yeah,
right
here.
here,
In,
just
in
and
these
then
walls. Yeah, right. Exactly.
and my mom and dad are in town,
Nice.
so they're hanging out with us through the 4th and then leaving the 5th before heading north as they do during the summer months. They go visit my brother up in Philippa
Oh, is he still there?
in the metro
Your
area.
brother's still in the
Well,
Philly?
both
Yeah.
my brothers, quite frankly. Yeah,
Well, that's the now my funny you should say
my
that.
2
So
younger brothers.
my cousin I was just talking about, she is at a teachers convention,
Mhm.
which is in Philadelphia right now. And I'm like, so you're in Philadelphia for the
Or
4th? And she goes, yeah. I mean,
oh,
that's
that's cool.
amazing. I bet that's
Yeah,
cool as heck.
the birthplace of liberty.
Yeah, it really was when we went to go visit because my daughter the younger lives in Philadelphia,
Mhm.
and they met each other last night. She went to my cousin went, which is her second cousin. They don't know what to call her because she's my age, but it's her second cousin. You know, the children of your cousin is your second cousin,
Right.
and but they call her Aunt Mary. Well, well, she's not your aunt; she's your second cousin. But call her Aunt Mary if that's how you feel.
Couldn't
But
just
the
been Cousin Mary?
could be cousin Mary. That's right.
Cousin Mary? Hey, it's your Cousin Mary.
Cousin Mary. So,
No one will get that, by
yeah,
the
she's
way.
going to be in Philadelphia. So that's cool for
Yeah.
the
No,
4th of
that is
July.
cool. You could go see the Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, Betsy Ross's place, Ben
And the
Franklin's
Liberty
home.
Bell. I don't know. It's in a separate building now. They don't have it,
Well,
and it's in this second separate building than from when the first time I saw it. But anyway,
anyway.
so they're going to be there. That's awesome. So your parents are in town.
Yes.
They drove. They didn't fly.
No, they drive up. They drive up from Venice and then hang with us
Oh, that's right. They
for
live in Florida. Your dad's
a
retired.
bit. Yep. They've
Oh,
been long,
nice.
long since retired. Our parents are about the same age.
Oh,
So,
are they? Oh,
yeah,
that's nice though.
yeah,
That's excellent. Then visit your brothers
yeah. And
in
then they head up there
up
and visit
north.
the Rose and their.
Well, it is steamy.
It's
Steamy in
steamy here,
Florida.
but it's just as steamy up there.
Yeah, it's steamy here.
I know.
It's it was in the mid 90s. We had a heat index, the real field temperature.
Here we go. You just do that just to irritate me. No,
I
you
do.
don't.
I do. I
Heat
do. Yes,
dome. We
that's
had a heat
correct.
dome.
Well, the heat dome just meant there was no wind.
A
There was
flash drought.
nothing moving everything around.
We've got a flash drought.
Well, we did not on Saturday,
We had flash flooding here.
which brings that up for
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Was the fun around here? Of course, you have the national fireworks in the Washington D.C., which I've seen once in person, and I have to thank our friend Carl. Do you know Carl? You know Carl, right? Carl? Yeah, so Carl. So I had to thank Carl because Carl came up with this plan. So we went down
Okay.
to go see the fireworks, and we were on the mall. But we only traveled down to see the fireworks. We weren't there on the mall to see in Washington D.C.
Right.
any of the bands, like the Beach Boys played or whatever. And see a Capitol 4th, which is always on PBS, by the way. You can watch it.
Right.
And we went down, and then so the fireworks were going off, right?
Mhm.
The funny thing, or I don't know what you would call it, bad luck, but the wind was blowing towards us. And it was a nice slight breeze. It wasn't, windy.
Mhm.
It was the slight breeze, which means it blew all of the smoke
Yeah.
from the exploded fireworks in front of the fireworks. So all we saw was lit up smoke.
That's great. Did you get any pellets coming down too?
No, we weren't that close.
Okay.
We were not that close.
That's
But
always fun.
then it was like, it was a good 10 minutes into the probably like a 20-minute display.
Mhm.
And so we had like blankets and chairs and stuff like that. So then we stood up and we're standing there and we're watching it, kind of like Clark Griswold looking at the in the first vacation movie, looking at the Grand Canyon. We're just like, okay,
Mhm.
yeah. And we're waiting for it to end. And like the very last one, because it was like boom, 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 all of the just the flash pots or the explosions going off. Not so much
Yeah.
fireworks, but the
Right. The noise
yeah.
makers, as we used to call them.
I don't know what you would call them.
Yeah.
As soon as that very last one, he's like, okay, let's go. And we booked, I mean, like full on sprinted up the
Mhm.
block to the Farragut North Metro
Yeah.
subway.
Yeah.
Got on that, took off. We got back to his place in like Rockville, Potomac, Gaithersburg, that home area, which is a north suburb of Washington, D.C.
Right.
And we were sitting in front of the TV watching the 11 o'clock news with people going, it is bedlam here. There was people trying to get out of Washington, D.C. And like, that's the only time I went to go see the national fireworks.
That was enough.
Down on the mall. Even when I worked downtown
Yeah.
at Sirius XM,
Mhm.
when we had engineers would go and stand on the roof of the building.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And there were the fireworks right there, because literally the Sirius XM in Washington, D.C. is just blocks away from the Capitol, and you could see them off on the horizon. But anyway, even though I worked for like 17 years, I never went down to the fireworks. Anyway, so I'm working on the 4th of July. I'm working tomorrow, and I'm going to be in downtown Frederick and Baker Park. Now, and that's where the fireworks are in the Frederick area. So all the little suburbs. What's that?
You're going to have the Key 103 van down there?
Key 103 van, the 106.9, the Eagle van, Max Country.
Everyone's going to be
our new, all of us. And we're going to have a cornhole tournament that's going up.
Oh.
And I'll be broadcasting on location. But, I'll be there in the afternoon. I'll be there in the heat of the afternoon. But, so because of that, and that's the big fat hairy deal, and you have multiple stages and bands going off everywhere.
Right. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
But then you have the communities that have fireworks prior to. So last Saturday was my hometown, Middletown's fireworks, which you have been to.
With like the carnivals are they doing the carnivals, or is it just the fireworks?
No, this was just the fireworks.
Okay.
Now Walkersville has their carnival this week, but they're not having fireworks on the 4th. They're having them on Friday the 5th. But ours, Middletown, was on Saturday the 28th. So Saturday, it's a gorgeous day. Well, it was a hot day, actually, all day long, hot day.
Okay.
All day long. I'm on the air talking about how, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for this evening, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't you know it? I mean, so we have a vantage point now, and where we go, instead of going into the park where there's thousands of people in the park and there's food trucks and all that stuff, we go to the Safeway parking lot. We go to the right. We go to the right of the Safeway, and we walk up.
John.
Right, and you put your chairs out and you watch the fireworks.
Right.
Well, I swear it was like going to see the Kiss concert in Florida, where as soon as I sat down, it was like drip the first drop. We sit down. I set up the chair. You feel this breeze coming through. We're looking at these ominous, horrible close encounter of the third kind clouds that are rolling in, and it's like somebody took a black and gray crayon and just
Yep.
it was
That
Bad.
one starts.
It was bad. I'm like looking at it with, Grace wife and I were both on our phones. I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's go wait in the car. Let's go wait in the car because the fireworks
Yeah,
aren't supposed to start until 9:30,
yeah,
9:35, something like
right.
that. This is like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this line on the radar on my phone. I'm watching this line, and there's a red cell right in the middle of it, and it was
Mm,
unbelievable. It was the huge downpours, deluge. You couldn't see it was just sheets. We just sat in the car
love that word.
and what deluge?
Deluge.
And it was just sheets and sheets and sheets of water. You could barely see anything. Every now and then I would turn the windshield wiper on. So we just quizzed each other on Friends trivia and Big Bang Theory. And daughter the elder was there with her son in the next car. And then afterwards, she's just like, once she's like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna go. I don't want to stick around here. She was not feeling very safe. So
Mhm.
she drove. The problem was with that storm, it wasn't she's driving south and the storm is coming north, but it was a huge swath. So she stayed in it the entire time she's trying to drive
Yeah.
home, which
Mm,
kind of stunk, and I felt really bad for her. But we just sat there and waited and waited and waited.
yeah.
And then after the downpours, and it was still kind of raining, and we were watching all these lightning strikes. I mean, it was unbelievable because Middletown is in a valley and
Right.
it's hitting the mountains around us. It was hitting the as we were facing east, so towards Frederick, and that's where the storm was heading because it was heading from west to east, and it's going across us, and we're just watching these incredible lightning bolts that are hitting Braddock Mountain and over, and that was in Frederick, but you weren't getting the big kaboom, so they were a lot farther than you thought, I guess.
Yeah.
And but you did get the rumbles, but still, you're not supposed to have people outside in the middle of this when there's lightning strikes. You're supposed to wait like 30 minutes after the last lightning strike before,
True.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
next thing we hear, boom, 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 the fireworks went off. I'm
What?
like, what is going on? So we drove around to the back of the store, and yeah, they were right up over in the horizon, and they said it was still raining, but they set them off. So I don't know what was going on. That was kind of weird. And I wasn't in the park, and I heard a lot of stuff. People were writing, when there's a Middletown chat page and stuff like that. There's
Right.
a Middletown complaint page, which is always
Oh,
always fun to read. Always fun to read.
yeah.
And
Never a dull
so,
moment there,
so
I'm sure.
people were weighing in on that for sure. But so we did get to see some fireworks on the on Saturday. And I love fireworks, but I understand what I don't understand is why people bring their children. Why? Why? Sorry. Bring your child to the picnic. Absolutely. Your infant, your toddler, they're just not going to like it. They're not they're not going to like
Scary,
it. They're not
scary,
going to
loud
like it.
noises. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
You're not going to like it. It's loud. It's freaky. Big flashing lights.
It would be like bringing your dog to that. Like,
Well, it said the dogs were welcome to the park, but please take them home before
yeah, take them home
take them
before.
home before the fireworks because
Yeah.
they're not going to be
Yeah. We don't.
enjoying this at all.
No.
So, but we did finally get to see it. Now around this time of year, and I usually post this post it up on my Facebook page, and I'll probably put it up on this one too. Is I remember growing up as a kid, and I am Generation X.
We both are.
Technically, I'm a boomer, but I mean, I was born in '64, and that's the
Oh,
last year for boomers. But I
everybody.
have more in common with Gen X than anything else.
Okay, I'm officially Gen X, but go ahead.
Yes, and so I was a kid for the bicentennial in 1976.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And ABC television started running these, and I believe these were the first ones. It might have been Multiplication Rock, because they Schoolhouse Rock, all these videos that ran in between Saturday morning cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they started running a whole bunch from 1975 on to lead into 1976, the bicentennial, which was from Schoolhouse Rock. You had No More Kings. You had The Shot Heard Around the World. Ooh, there's going to be fireworks on the 4th of July. Great American Melting Pot, I believe, were all the ones that were So that was, being a what, 76, 10, 11-year-old. That was my exposure to American history. Was these
Yeah.
cartoons. You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
go back and watch them and you're like, that
Yeah,
was
but you learn stuff.
I did learn. Look, I learned the preamble to the Constitution
Right.
and suffering until suffrage with the I didn't know women couldn't vote. I'm watching this going, women couldn't vote. What?
Really? What was
What are you
that?
talking about? Women couldn't
Right.
vote.
I know.
It
Yeah,
was
but
an alien concept to me. I was a child growing up after civil rights and after the with women's rights. So I was still like, what are you talking about?
it seemed
So
foreign to you at the time.
it was, yeah, it was weird as a kid,
Mhm.
watching this,
Yeah.
but I still have it rolling around in my head. I still have those songs because I saw them on Saturday morning cartoons and I watched them all the time and I loved them.
Right. What is
No
a
more.
noun, Ron?
What is what?
What is a noun?
A noun. Noun is a person, place, or thing. Oh, I
Noun.
took a train to another state.
Yeah.
The fun I saw was really great. Then we saw some bandits chasing the train, and I wish I was back home again. Took a train to another state. Well, every person you can know,
I started it.
something or an engineer, or everything that you can show, a train, or
Yeah, exactly. That was
oh,
it.
it was a person, a bandit, or an engineer. That's right.
Right.
Okay, I got it.
Got it. Yeah.
Thing I loved is that I put a dime in the drugstore record machine. The
Mhm.
oldies goldies were playing, you know what I mean. There was Chubby Checker, he was doing the twist, and the Beatles and the Monkeys, and it goes like this. I'm like, the Beatles, they said the Beatles. I was crazy about the Beatles. So
Right.
to hear that as a kid, I was excited about that. Noun is a person, place, or thing. Verb, that's what's
Oh,
happening. To be, to do, to see, to hey. Yeah.
I know. It's great. It's good stuff.
So I unpacked my adjective.
Oh, now I've started it.
What? I do credit. First, I think I may have mentioned this story before.
I'm just a bill.
Yes, I'm
I'm
only
on
a
Capitol
bill,
Hill.
and I'm sitting there on Capitol Hill. Well, now it's off to the
Yeah.
committee where I'll sit and I'll wait.
Good stuff.
Conjunction.
Junction.
Junction. What's
That's
your
your
function?
function.
But I
Hooking up
remember
words and
these.
phrases and clauses.
I remember the ones for the bicentennial though, with
Yeah.
no more cane, rocking and a rolling, splishing and a splashing over the horizon. What can it be? You don't remember that?
No, not as much.
No.
I do remember them, but not as much.
Oh, the shot heard round the world was the start of the revolution. No, nothing.
Yeah. Jim says, have some coffee with your sugar this morning, Ron.
I did. I've had one. I'm limiting myself to one cup of coffee. Tim Hortons, by the way. Go happy Canada Day, July 1st.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, Tim Hortons.
Where are you getting the Tim's coffee? Is it on Amazon or what?
Yeah, we have a subscription now.
Okay.
We
No,
have
that's
a
fine.
box of pods that's delivered to us once a month. Little box. Boop. Tim Hortons is here. Yay!
Yeah. I mean, I kind of grew up with that stuff because there were Tim Hortons in Dayton, Ohio. So, Tim's are actually in certain spots in the United States as well. Don't know.
I
if you
didn't
knew
know that. I didn't know. I kept hearing
In
about
addition to
Tim
being
Hortons, but I
on
never.
every corner in Canada, which, by the way, I had a couple weeks ago in Toronto. I had a Tim Hortons donut and a Tim Hortons frozen coffee.
Well, you were in Toronto.
Right.
I would hope so.
There were two within like
would-
1,000 feet of my hotel.
Did you have poutine?
No, I did not.
What?
I love poutine. I just did not have a chance.
Oh, okay.
to do
All
it.
right. I never heard of poutine until
Mhm.
one of these viral videos that went out, and it's going to be as delicate as possible. It's a little kid, a mom shot video. The little kid's in the bathroom, doors closed, but
Right.
he's lamenting about how much he ate.
Oh.
Oh, I ate too much. Oh, pickle chips, poutine. And he just starts talking about all the things that he ate and how he's going to cause damage to the plumbing. Although he doesn't say
Right.
that. All
Right.
right. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm going, poutine. What's
get
that?
it.
So I had to go back and look up apple slices, pickle chips, grapes, poutine. Oh, I ate too much.
Somebody needs to find that video.
So now the greatest wife ever and I went after dinner.
Do you do that?
Oh, good. They ate too much, and the mom is shooting video,
All
just
right.
shooting it at the door, right? And she can't control herself. She's laughing.
Oh, I'd be laughing
so,
too.
so
That's good.
hard. So the camera's jostling around. Ugh. There's another one. It's kind of like that. It's a little kid. He's probably 3,
Mhm.
and he's helping the mom put together the grocery list.
Mm.
And he's got this little, I don't know, Texas, Mississippi, although I know they're different accents, but he's got a Southern accent.
Yep.
And he's walking, he's got a pad and he's got a pencil. He doesn't know how to write, but he's like, and he's asking his mom what else. And she's like, taco. He goes, taco stuff. What else? And she's
What
like,
else?
potatoes. He goes, potatoes. What else?
What? Where is he from? Balmer?
I don't know. So we do that too whenever we make a grocery list. Taco stuff. What else?
Natty Bow.
Potatoes. What else?
Potatoes.
All right. Ugh. Pickled chips. Poutine.
I want to do the original one now.
What? I will send you the link.
Oh, you have the link? Okay.
I'll send you the link to the video.
Should share that with everyone.
It's everywhere. That's one of the viral videos that I like to watch. There's also one. There's one on Instagram, and they post the same video every day. And it's these 2 girls in a car, teenagers, I think, maybe, or young women, and they're drinking a Sprite, but they're trying to chug the Sprite, and they're so full of gas. And one's going, "Oh no, I can't," and the other one's going, "Oh, I don't feel very good." And then all of a sudden, this burp comes up, and it's just like Satan is. It's just like, and they repost it every day. I watch it every day. When it comes, it's just great. It's funny, but that's another discussion for another time for the viral videos. Because, are you ready, John?
Yeah, Jimmy Horn wants to know why I'm in the little box.
Why are you in the little box?
I don't know, because you were telling a story, so sometimes I do that.
Oh, I see.
Hi, Jimmy.
Said the blind man as he picked up his hammer and saw.
Correct. Exactly. Is what I'm saying.
All right, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Are you ready? I'm ready.
Ready.
Okay, because it's what's the commercial going on in the background? What happened? We had fireworks.
Yeah, it's YouTube. I didn't pay for the subscription, so let me see. What do we got? Dawn, no flip.
Dawn gets grease out of the way.
Now we got some Pinterest.
I have a question about the Dawn commercial and the washing the duck. They had to wash the little duckling because it's got oil on it.
It's got greasy oil, right?
Did they find that duck or did they oil it on purpose? Because they had the cameras ready.
Right.
Did they actually put oil or is that like pancakes here?
I think that's Hollywood magic, Ron.
Well, no, they washed the duck in the you think
the duck got a nice bath.
You think it's CG? It's a CG duck?
I don't think it's CG duck. I think it's a real duck that they just put a little pudding on and
and called it oil.
And then cleaned it up and like Ducky took one for the team.
I got the duckling.
So all right, it's time, Ron.
Time to get the gray matter working, fire out the synapses, engage for the low form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to think. It's the dun question of the day.
Yes.
Pride, not prize. Here we go. Are you ready? Or did you put the first one in, or did you take the second one?
I've got both.
Oh, both. All right.
So you can give it two. It's a twofer.
It's a twofer. You have 2 questions. 2 questions.
2 for Wednesday.
I don't know. I was just getting crazy.
Yep.
In the movie National Treasure, this was actually located in Buena Park, California. What was it? In the movie National Treasure with Nicolas Cage, this was actually located in Buena Park, California. What is it? Put your answers in the comment section and then post them up. And good luck. We should be playing Yankee Doodle Dandy, but that's all right. No, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John. What you're doing now is perfect and correct and wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you so much.
This is what we do here at the Ron
Uh,
Ross Radio Show podcast.
What's that?
Play the thing.
We play the thing. We got to
Play
play
the thing. Boom,
Dun,
boom,
dun.
boom, boom.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, you put the second question is rolling in the
Yeah,
scroll.
that's what I just said.
Oh, all right. Should I ask that one as well?
Sure, why not?
All right, fine.
We don't have to have a reason.
No, we don't. All right. Everybody knows John Philip Sousa's marches, Stars and Stripes Forever. Be kind to your web-footed friends. Maybe somebody's brother. All right, Stars and Stripes Forever and the Washington Post March. What is the Liberty Bell March better known as? So there you got two questions. Two questions.
Going on the bottom of the screen down there.
Right.
But
In the movie,
the first one now.
yeah. In the movie National Treasure, this was actually located in Buena Park, California. What was it? Let's go to some of our comments.
We only have one answer. I told you were going to do this.
What did I do?
Well, I told you were going to stump everybody with the first one.
No, I'm not. It's easy. It's so easy.
Really?
You got it, didn't you?
Did I?
I don't know.
I don't know. Wait, honestly, Jim, I don't even know if this is an answer. What is this, Jim? He says Knott's Berry Farm.
It's on, and well, he looked it up. It's on Knott's Berry Farm.
Okay.
What is it?
But what is it, Jim?
On Knott's Berry Farm. What is it?
It's
correct, because that's where it is. Yeah. Well, no, it's not on Knott's Berry Farm. It's the guy who originated or was the owner of Knott's Berry Farm did this. He made this, and that's what they used in the movie National Treasure. He made do we have another answer? I can't give any other. It's a brick pipe. Okay, let's put it this way.
You stumped the crowd today.
I did not stump them. They got it. They got this. It was a brick by brick replica of this building.
Mm-hmm.
Because probably you couldn't get permission to film at this building. Especially running across the rooftop. There you go. I don't know what more I can do.
I don't know. At some point,
I think that's it. I think that's it. No, you got it. You got it. There you go. Independence Hall. Boom. That is correct. Independence Hall. There's a brick by brick replica.
Okay.
In Buena, California, and that's where they filmed the running across the rooftop scene, because obviously you're not going to be able to get.
You're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So the second question, which was the bonus, maybe I should just play the.
You want to play it?
Yeah.
All right, let's play it. So John's going to play it. You know, John.
Here it comes.
There it is. It's the Liberty Bell March is what it's called. Liberty Bell March. But what do we better know? What do we know it better as? Known better as we. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
There you go. Anyone? Bueller?
Wow. Everyone's.
This is a generational thing. It might be a generational thing.
I think so. And it's everyone's got the haze of Independence Day hanging on. And Jim's the one who's on the ball.
Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Yes.
That's correct. There you go. Nice.
Yes.
Damn, Jim pulling a two for today.
We've got a two for all those acted chime in and said carousel
music. Oh, that's good.
I've
heard it on Carousel. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. It's the theme song to Monty Python's Flying Circus, which was the BBC. It was played here on PBS. I wasn't exactly sure what it was. I was reading the TV guide.
Right.
That's where did I ever tell you this?
I don't know.
I told Grace's wife ever this. She's like, "What are you talking about?" When I would read the TV guide, I loved to read the TV guide. Mom and Dad would get it. We actually had a subscription for it, right?
Yeah.
And there was the section called Close Up, and you had all of your TV channels, and all of the TV channels were in these little looked like TV screens. They weren't boxes; they were kind of rounded on the corner, so it looked like a cathode ray tube, a TV screen, right?
Right.
And early in the morning, usually there were these shows called To Be Announced. And I'm like, I would get up early in the morning to try to catch the show called To Be Announced, and I thought it was people. You had steps that go up to a stage, and people would stand there, and they would announce who they are,
right?
And then they would walk up. That's what I imagine.
That's a cool show.
To Be Announced.
To be or not to be. That really? Did you?
Yes, I totally thought that was a show.
Okay.
I thought it was a show, and I thought it was interesting. It was running on like 5 different channels. I'm like, wow, this must be a really big show.
Must be cool.
Like, must be cool to be announced.
Yeah.
To be announced. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, young and
come on, your misconceptions when you were
no, I have plenty. We still have to talk about misheard song lyrics at some point.
Misheard song lyrics, and we're gonna get into the toddlerisms. We might try that next week. Of yours and your children. Because I remember all of the ones from our girls. And what? Grins my brother. Like, my brother is like, oh brother. What? To be announced. That was a show. Am I the only one that thinks this is funny? Okay. All right. Well, sorry. Sorry about that. So what are your plans for the 4th? What's going on? Parents are in town, the rents are in town. Where are the fireworks? Do you have to go into town on the water?
Into town. Yeah, I mean the island's, for those who don't know, the island's 12 miles long by 5 miles wide, about 60 square miles. So nowhere are we going very far to get to anything. However, that being said, we have kind of a waterway that splits the island almost in half. Doesn't go quietly all the way through, called Broad Creek. And the fireworks tend to be there for the island. They have them there. They have them. Other people who have been here know sea pines, salty dog, all that kind of stuff. They tend to have their own. There's one mid island, and then it used to be that Paris Island, which is one of the Air Force bases, just across the way. We actually can kind of almost see it from our house looking out. Used to have a big celebration, but I don't think they do that anymore.
We used to
went away, I think.
We used to go to my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law owned a farm next to Antietam Battlefield, Sharpsburg, Maryland. So technically his mailing address was Keedysville. But anyway, the Antietam Battlefield was on the other side, Civil War battlefield. But they would have fireworks there. And I don't know if it was Maryland Symphony Orchestra. I think it was the Maryland Symphony Orchestra that would play the 1812 Overture. And they had cannons, howitzers that they would set off. And so we would go over, because you could see them just over his trees over in the background, because there were big trees and there was another property behind him, but the battlefield was right there. And we would go over there and have a big all day picnic. And I know I just remember one time we went over there and they had one of these, it was a kiddie pool, but it was one of those rubber ones that, ballooned out like that. You know what I mean? So you could fit, up to a 5-year-old's like, up to their waist, it was pretty deep, pretty good little kiddie pool. And so when we first showed up and we had been there to help decorate and all that stuff. And of course, greatest wave ever, that we had converted one of his work vans into, was supposed to be like a firecracker or a rocket. Okay, we put a cone on with fins on it and all that stuff, because there was a little battle between our brother-in-law and the neighbors across the street, because they also had a huge 4th of July party. And they went to Pennsylvania and bought fireworks.
Because you used to do that, which is weird, because they weren't legal in Pennsylvania.
No,
you couldn't shoot them off in Pennsylvania.
You could not shoot them off, and you can buy them there.
Right.
And transport them over state lines back into Maryland. But in Maryland, you could not have them leave the ground. There are no, it's not legal.
Ground-based fireworks.
Yeah, right. Ground-based fireworks.
Right.
And which we may have had 1 or 2 fireworks that went off in our backyard when Daughter the Elder graduated, and when daughter, when Greatest Wife Ever is talking to the police who came by,
Yeah.
they said, well, they're in Maryland, the ground fireworks. And she goes, well, yeah, they were on the ground.
And then they went in the air.
Yeah, she didn't say that second part.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. And, you know, on the 4th, kind of, they just sort of look the other way because it's going on everywhere.
No, we did have the cops come, but I just remember
Really?
when we first showed up,
We used to
I
do it
sat there.
it was
I
just
had
going on everywhere. So
I had my beer. I put my feet in the in the pool, and the
yeah.
kids were running. I said, "All right, I'm lifeguard. I'm sitting right here." So that was me for like for the next hour. I got the kids. You guys do what you're gonna do. I got them. I just sat there.
Fun.
That was a lot of fun. But we had a lot of games too. We had it was Alka-Seltzer tag, where you tape, you have Alka-Seltzer and you put tape behind it and you put it on a paper plate, and then you wear the paper plate like a shield, right? And then you have these water cannons, and your goal is to squirt the person with the water and try to dissolve the Alka-Seltzer. So it's a battle.
Never heard of that.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, greatest we've ever found.
interesting.
All these cool games. That was one. And you had these fill-up stations. So it was the big plunger water cannons. It's like a giant syringe. It's got a plunger, so you stick it down in the bucket, drywall bucket, and fill it with water, and you suck it up, and then you squirt it at people. It was great. It was fun.
Great things when we were kids growing up, though, Ron.
Well, these were the adults.
I know.
We were doing this. We were playing this game.
Yeah.
This was after I was lifeguard. And then later that night, we drove the van out and then shut off the fireworks.
I think we're gonna have to go see some fireworks. We've in the past couple of years, we've ended up sitting out on our deck and just watched things way off on the horizon. Either that or crazy neighbors to the left or to the right shooting things off. But I think this year we need to go.
That happened during the pandemic. The first year of lockdown, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It was that was sad. Well, everybody was.
Everybody was sad.
It was very traumatic, because of the loss of life, obviously.
Right.
What was going on, and we, couldn't go out anywhere. We didn't go out anywhere. You went to the grocery store and you were masked, were double masked up and 6 feet apart.
Litigate this.
But my point is,
horrible.
We sat on the deck.
Yeah.
For that 4th, and the town had canceled theirs.
Yeah.
Which kind of stunk because you don't need to be close to people for that to happen. So why did you do that?
Right.
So, which was kind of weird. But as we sat on our deck, everybody was anticipated this, and they just went off all around us.
Everybody else made
all these houses had fireworks. These fireworks that were on the ground, Maryland.
Right.
When they started. And we didn't have to go anywhere. We sat down on our deck and we just watched this. It was great. It was a great show that went all the way around us. So it was just kind of a light thing to happen.
I love the resourcefulness of Americans.
There was one.
That was one great example of.
We were looking at this one across on the horizon over towards Myersville, and we were watching these, and they were pretty big fireworks. And you know what? I didn't see a single law enforcement was called out to any of these places. And I saw these going out. We were just going, that they had to have spent like $5,000. Right. they spent a pretty penny on those fireworks, and it was pretty.
They were like, cancel us.
Yeah. We'll put on our own show. Exactly. Yay! Which is what they did.
I love that.
All right, so I think we're done. We're done. It's noon.
I'm gonna go say happy birthday to your mom.
I'm gonna go say happy birthday to my mom, and then and you get to tend to your parents. Thank you for taking time out of your personal vacation, John, to hang out with us and do this. This was awesome. Trust me, if John wasn't doing this, I would not be on the air. I'd be doing Facebook Live and like, is this thing on? And I would talk for 30 minutes and then the mic wasn't on and whatever. That's what would happen.
There's an ounce of truth to that.
But John, there's a lot of truth to that, John. So again, I can't thank you enough. And thank you for taking time to hang out with us, and appreciate you listening. and tell your friends and family and collect them and train them with your friends. Next week is going to be we're going to do the toddlers, I believe. Toddlerism. So collect your toddlerisms with your kids.
Okay.
Love to hear about it. You want to call it in? You can call it in and we can play it back. That would be great because it might be hard to type up. But you can call it in to 240-415-9090, 240-415-9090. And I'll post that up on the Facebook page, and then you can call in if you'd like and leave your toddlerisms from your kids, maybe your own. I've got one. They never let me forget. I said it once.
All right. Well, we're going to hear about it.
We'll bring it up next week. John, do you remember any of yours when you were a kid?
We have a few.
So, all right. And about your own children too?
Oh yeah, there's
yeah, I got it like 8,000.
Have some
I got 8,000 of the kids, but they were so cute. I remember all that stuff. I loved all that stuff. I have it memorized.
Absolutely.
All right, so listen, happy and safe 4th of July for the week. I hope you get to see some really cool fireworks and you get a great barbecue, a hot dog or a hamburger or whatever. Yeah. And maybe some ribs, something delicious.
I gotta go make the ribs now, and the hot dogs and then hamburgers are tomorrow.
What are you doing with your ribs? Are you smoking them?
We'll do something.
Yeah. What do you have? Do you have baby backs?
It's I don't know. Don't
I
ask.
wish I'd have known earlier, John. I would have talked about ribs. All right, I gotta listen. Have a wonderful and safe holiday. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. For that dude, John Yaglensky, I'm Ron Ross. Love you, mean it. Bicycle.
Bye now.